Today, we are to study about the Greek mythology. Last time, we have talked about the well-known writers of Greece as part of the Greek literature. Of course, studying Greek literature would always lead one to the study and understanding of its mythology. One would have to familiarize himself with the uniqueness of its gods and goddesses. Now let's first have a background of what Greek mythology is all about. The Greek mythological gods and goddesses were made out of their own image, very different from the Egyptians and the others. Greek gods and goddesses are far different from those of the gods of Egypt. Egyptians consider their pharaohs as their god, which is not the same with Greeks. Greeks do not have pharaohs, but they have their own gods and goddesses. They were believed to be the controller of the life of human beings. Greek gods were not supreme almighty beings. They were looked upon as idealized human beings. They were powerful but looked human and had the same flaws human had. They were immortal, didn't get old or sick and had eternal youth, but they did have human flaws, desires and needs such as hunger and thirst. Basically, they all have the same features as humans have. The only thing that makes them different from us is that they have their power and they are immortal, which means they do not die. They as well have their fair share of desires and needs. Now let's move on to the major gods and goddesses of Greece. First, we have Zeus, and his Roman name is Jupiter. Zeus is the most powerful of all, god of the sky and the king of Olympus. His temper affected the weather, and he threw thunderbolts when he was unhappy. So here is the animated picture of Zeus. So during storms and other natural calamities, they believe that the gods must be angry. He was married to Hera but had many other lovers. His symbols include the oak and the thunderbolts. So you see, their gods are not perfect. They have flaws, and one of that is having too many lovers and children with other women. Next is Hera, and her Roman name is Juno. Hera was goddess of marriage and the queen of Olympus. She was Zeus' wife and sister. The gods as well marry their own relative or own siblings, which is very unacceptable in our society. So here is the animated picture of Hera. Many myths tell of how she sought revenge when Zeus betrayed her with his lovers. Her symbols include the peacock and the cow. Next we have Poseidon, and his Roman name is Neptune. Poseidon was god of the sea. He lived in a beautiful palace under the sea and caused earthquakes when he was in a temper. His symbols include the horse and the trident. It is a three-pronged pitchfork. So have you seen the movie Percy Jackson? The son and daughters of the gods are called demigod, and Percy is the son of Poseidon. And Poseidon controls everything that has to do with water. Next, we have Aphrodite, and her Roman counterpart is Venus. Aphrodite was the goddess of love and beauty and the protector of sailors. So here is the animated picture of Aphrodite. So she is believed to be very beautiful, and Greeks call upon her to find the one destined for them. She may have been the daughter of Zeus and the titan Dion, or she may have risen from sea foam. Her symbols include the myrtle tree and the dove. Next we have Apollo. Apollo was the god of music and healing. His symbols include the laurel tree, the crow, and the dolphin. So here is the animated picture of Apollo or Apollon. So in the movie Troy, Apollo was the one whom the Trojans had preyed upon to guard their walls against the enemies because Apollo was a good archer. Okay, so also he was also an archer and hunted with a silver bow. Apollo was the son of Zeus and the Titan Leto and the twin of Artemis. So later on we will know more about her twin Artemis. So next we have Ares, and his Roman name is Mars. Ares was the god of war. He was both cruel and a coward one. So here is a picture of Ares. So I wonder how he can be too cruel and at the same time coward. Maybe because she do love or she do not fight fairly. Ares was the son of Zeus and Hera, but neither of his parents liked him. Well, it could be because of her the reason that Ares is very hot-headed and he loves war. Well, who knows? And his symbols include the vulture and the dog, and he often carried a bloody spear. Next we have Artemis, or her Roman name is Diana. Artemis was the goddess of the hunt and the protector of women and childbirth. She hunted with silver arrows and loved all wild animals. Artemis was the daughter of Zeus and Leto and the twin of Apollo. Her symbols include the cypress tree and the deer. So remember Apollo, the twin brother of Artemis? So just like him, she is a well or very good in hunting. Next we have Athena, and her Roman name is Minerva. So Athena was the goddess of wisdom. She was also skilled in the art of war and helped heroes such as Odysseus and Hercules. So here is the animated picture of Athena. Athena sprung full grown from the forehead of Zeus and became his favorite child. Her symbols include the owl and the olive tree. So Athena, if Ares is the god of war, then Athena is the goddess of war. But unlike Ares, Athena loves peace. Next we have Hephaestus, and his Roman name is Vulcan. Hephaestus was the god of fire and the forge, or a forge could refer to a furnace in which metal is heated. Although he made armor and weapons for the gods, he loved peace. So here is the picture of Hephaestus. He was the son of Zeus and Hera and married Aphrodite. His symbols include the anvil and the forge. So Hephaestus is so lucky to have been married to the goddess of beauty. They say Hephaestus is not that blessed in terms of physical beauty. Next we have Hermes, and his Roman name is Mercury. Hermes was a messenger god, a trickster, and a friend to thieves. He was said to have invented boxing and gymnastics. So here is Hermes. He was the son of Zeus and the constellation Mia, the speediest of all. He wore winged sandal and a winged hat and carried a magic wand. So the winged sandal of Hermes can be seen in the movie Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Next we have Demeter, and her Roman counterpart is Ceres. Demeter was the goddess of the harvest, and the word cereal comes from her Roman name. So here is Demeter. She was the sister of Zeus. Her symbols include wheat. So Greeks sing praises to Demeter to have an abundant harvest. So Last but not the least, we have Hestia, and her Roman name is Vesta. Hestia was the goddess of hearth. It is a fireplace at the center of the home. She was the most gentle of the gods, and does not play a role in many myths. Hestia was the sister of Zeus and the oldest of the Olympians. Fire is among her symbols, so if Hephaestus is the god of fire, then Hera is the goddess of fire. So that would be all for now.